Ever dreamed of working remotely in another country but then saw the price of accommodations and immediately closed the tab? Yeah, it happens. But this is Aimee, my friend who has cracked the code. She's been hopping between countries, working remotely, and paying exactly $0 for places to stay. How? She got into the surprisingly not sketchy world of house sitting. Yep, people literally hand you their keys and trust you with their pets, plants, and occasionally their entire espresso machine collection. So, today we're talking all things about house sitting. Is it actually safe? How do you not mess up? And how do you even get started without looking suspiciously like a drifter? Let's get into it.
Aimee, so the reason, beyond your, sparkling and fantastic personality, because Renee was telling me how you're working remotely now, and you're traveling, and you're doing the whole, tell me more about this. So your company just went virtual or just allowing you guys to?
No, I was hired virtual. Like, my company is virtual, so I've always been.
Oh, nice.
Well, not right. I mean, like, in terms of my PM career, yes, because once COVID happened, thank God I was not at college when that happened. I had already been out in the workforce for over a year.
Nice.
So when I got a new job, I just got a job at a place that it's a fully, we have one office in Utah, but we are a global company. We're fully remote. We always have been.
Sweet.
Have been as in some were, some weren't, but when I got on, my boss, he had already been remote for 10 years before all of that stuff. So, I've worked there for a while. When I was in professional services, one of the project managers that I worked with, I noticed that she would, because I was the resource manager, she told me that she was going to be in Croatia for 6 weeks. And I took that as that means you're going to be gone, as in I'm not going to give you projects. But then she was like, oh no, I'll be working there because her husband is actually from Croatia and they have a second house there. So because they have a second house there, they go twice a year and, they visit family, and she works remotely. She'll take off 2 weeks, but she'll work remotely for the other 6 weeks. And, she's a PM. They can, I work at a place that's, you're an adult. We're a global company. We have global stakeholders. I work with a lot of people that are on the UK and India time zone. So we're already you choose whatever to get your job done. And she did that, and then I'm like, I kind of want to do that. So, but obviously, I've always had the travel bug, but since I did move to a new role at my company, it had always been a goal for me to work remotely from another country because I've always wanted that experience. But I was like, okay, let me wait until I actually settle into this role and don't just be that brand new person that moved over and goes, hey, I know that you've seen nothing I can do, but can I work remotely from another place for, over a month? So I finally got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm at my career, I can do that, but how do I do it in a economical, viable way? So I actually, interestingly enough, I had an informational interview with somebody that I met the contact through Delin at PMI, and when I was sitting down with her, I ended up having dinner with her and a friend, and the friend was telling me how she was going to be working remotely in England, but she was going to be house sitting, and I'm like, wait, can you tell me about that? So then she told me about trusted house sitters, and I went on this huge YouTube rabbit hole to be like, is this legit? What, as a woman who's single, I'm like, what are the horror stories that have ensued on this platform? Because, house sitting, you don't have to pay, you pay for the membership, but you don't have to pay to sit there. You're taking care of plants, you're taking care of animals, and obviously every place has its own rules, but the bottom line is you can just stay somewhere for free. So I basically applied to some. I did not get accepted at a lot because I just applied to international ones off the bat, and because I didn't get them, I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do. So I went on Reddit and I figured out what you have to do. You have to get a local sit, so I did that. I did it back in February for a dog and a cat, so I have applications I could put in for both. And then I applied to 25, and I was like, well, we're just gonna go wherever I get accepted. I got accepted into Dublin for a 10-day sit.
Nice.
And the people there were absolutely wonderful, but then after that, I had met a few people who I actually knew in person that were actually on the platform. So, which it was only for one sit that was like that, but I basically ended up going abroad for 5 weeks, and I did 4 house sits.
Nice.
And only 1 week of hotels is what I stayed in as the in-between.
Yep.
So I literally was gone for 5 weeks, and I only spent... I mean, it's London, so accommodation is still expensive. I still paid probably like over $1,000 in hotels, but if you wanted to stay shorter and just be there, in Dublin, I didn't spend a cent.
Yeah.
So I got it sorted out, and I was like, hey, and I mean, by that point, I'd already cleared things with my boss, but she was like, yeah, sure. Like, half my stakeholders are in another place. So.
And you liked it? You enjoyed house sitting?
I did, because I did the homework to get the sits that I wanted. Because here's the thing. We all know a vibe test, right? And whether that's a friend, you're on a date, a networking event, like whatever, you know the vibe test of are you creepy? Are you a little shady? But also when it comes to house sitting, it's more, do you understand the purpose of the platform? Which is like, for example, I came across so many listings that even in America, there was one I was looking at for doing locally. Downtown St. Pete, this woman had 2 dogs. She said dogs cannot be alone for more than 2 hours. And I didn't even read anything else.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she had an essay of responsibilities.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If that is what you want, you get off the platform because you are going to pay people for that. The whole point of this is that it's an equal exchange of, I appreciate you offering your home, and I'm going to treat it as mine, which means I need to have more flexibility. Because the thing is, especially for dogs, most of them are 6 hours max, which I feel that's a very normal one, especially when you're talking about going out, walk in the morning, feeding schedule. But I mean, in the responsibilities, I knew what I was getting into because I only applied to certain ones. But also, you do a FaceTime with them. So after you put in the application, you go on the FaceTime, you're like, understand what the actual non-negotiables are. I'm a solo sitter, so for me, I don't have anybody else. I didn't apply to family sits, so it was really easy to just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be working remotely there, and they're like, wonderful, great. I don't really have any trips that would be planned outside of the windows of when I would have to get back. Because the thing is house sitting, in my opinion, is really good if you're looking at, I'm gonna be somewhere long enough to book an Airbnb. And I don't want to basically put up with the shit that Airbnb has, which is the cleaning fees, which you have to clean sometimes in an Airbnb, even if you get cleaning fees. And then it's the, I want to have a kitchen, I want to have laundry, I want to have access, and I want to have access to a host, which I look at that as house sitting is, I do have hosts. They're the people I'm staying in. And the thing is a lot of them, the entire time I was there, it was, okay, yeah, I'll send an update to your cats, but it was like, how are you? How are you finding the city? Is there any problem? Here's my neighbor's number in case anything happens. And especially because I'm a solo, that is a very big peace of mind thing that I've been to Airbnbs. Those hosts are not there. They don't even live there half the time. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that for my own safety, one of the reasons you would pick a hotel, especially as a solo female traveler, is I need a 24-hour concierge hotel. I need somebody that if something happens, they will be alerted. And the fact that you have all of these other things that are available to you, like Airbnb, I looked at the math. If I would have stayed in a place equivalent to what I stayed in Dublin, I would have paid $2,000 for 10 days.
Easily.
And I did laundry. They had a beautiful balcony. It was gorgeous. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily in the downtown, city center. I had to take the bus.
But it's free accommodations.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. And their cat was great.
Nice.
She was so great.